All right, good morning, Mishpaha. Shabbat Shalom. Daniel Brown, good morning. Just give it a minute. Let a couple more people get on there. Treasure, good morning. Thomas, my friend, good morning, brother. Buenos dias, Treasure. All right, so we are on day 2, Ecclesiastes chapter 2. I said in my heart, come now, I will test you with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure. But surely this also was vanity. I said of laughter, madness, and of mirth, what does it accomplish? I searched in my heart how to gratify my flesh with wine, while guiding my heart with wisdom, and how to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was good for the sons of men to do under heaven all the days of their lives. I made my works great. I built myself houses and planted myself vineyards. I made myself gardens and orchards, and I planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made myself water pools from which to water the growing trees of the grove. I acquired male and female servants, and had servants born in my house. Yes, I had greater possessions of herds and flocks than all who were in Jerusalem before me. I also gathered for myself silver and gold and the special treasures of kings, and of the provinces I acquired male and female singers, the delights of the sons of men, and musical instruments of all kinds. So I became great and excelled more than all who were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. Whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my reward from all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had done, and on the labor in which I had toiled. And indeed all was vanity and grasping for the wind. There was no profit under the sun. Then I turned myself to consider wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do who succeeds the king? Only what he has already done. Then I saw that wisdom excels folly, as light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walks in darkness. Yet I myself perceive that the same event happens to them all. So I said in my heart, as it happens to the fool, it also happens to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, this also is vanity. For there is no more remembrance of the wise than of the fool forever, since all that now is will be forgotten in the days to come. And how does a wise man die? As the fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that was done under the sun was distressing to me, for all is vanity and grasping for the wind. Then I hated all my labor in which I had toiled under the sun, because I must leave it to the man who will come after me. And who knows whether he will be wise or a fool? Yet he will rule over all my labor in which I toiled, and in which I have shown myself wise under the sun. This also is vanity. Therefore I turned my heart and despaired of all the labor in which I had toiled under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, yet he must leave his heritage to a man who has not labored for it. This also is vanity, and a great evil. For what has man for all his labor, and for the striving of his heart with which he has toiled under the sun? For all his days are sorrowful, and his work burdensome. Even in the night his heart takes no rest. This also is vanity. Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw was from the hand of Elohim. For who can eat, or who can have enjoyment more than I? For Elohim gives wisdom and knowledge and joy to a man who is good in his sight. But to the sinner he gives the work of gathering and collecting, that he may give to him who is good before Elohim. This also is vanity and grasping for the wind. Man, you can really see the depths of Solomon's realization. One, from where he said that nothing that he wanted was kept from him. Whatever his eyes saw, his heart's desire, he had it. Let's see, verse 10, whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure. And he's realizing through all the things that he's building up and all the things that he acquired, all the things that he stored up and gathered, he realized that it all meant nothing because it would go to somebody else after him. But for the wise and the knowledge from Yah and the joy to a man who is good in his sight, he would be good. But to the sinner, he gives the work of gathering and collecting. And Solomon realized this. He realized all the vanity, the vainness of all that he acquired and sought after, everything that he did. And he realized it meant nothing because he lost focus, he lost perspective on what his path was as a king by Elohim. He lost his eyes on the fact of doing everything to honor Yehovah, and it changed to him doing everything to honor his own flesh, his own pleasures, his own desires. And then through it all, in the midst of all, Yah allowed him to see, I believe without a doubt, Yah allowed him to see the vanity of all that he'd become and everything that he'd done, and the realization that when I'm gone, all of this is going to go to somebody else who didn't work for it. And Mishpachah, to read it just as it is, that chapter in and of itself can be discouraging. Well, it would be to somebody who's not seeking to be in the right place with Yehovah. But what I believe this chapter really shows a clarity on is where we need to be in Yah, so that we are not in this place and in this mindset of where Solomon was at, where everything comes to a realization of being vain and vanity and all this stuff. People are always wanting, riches or whatever. They want status in the eyes of other people. It's why so many, even in the ministries and stuff, or even you see on social media, people they want so bad to be looked at as being some all knowledgeable, knowing person, and they name ministries after themselves or whatever. And if you even for a second disagree with them, then they lash out at you with hatred and by venom and everything, because you're challenging their thought, and they can't possibly be wrong. It's all this stuff of that self-seeking for your own pleasures, to lift up your own self in the eyes of others. And when our only focus is to be lifting up Yah in the eyes of others, or we don't care if people agree with us or not. We don't care if people like us or not, but that people learn the truth and that they come to know Yehovah and they come to serve him and to surrender to him, to keep his word. And, and the same thing applies to what I came on late last night and did that short little video on about the companions of fools. People who are out there just trying to teach or teaching just whatever sounds good to them and misleading others. It's like a post that I've seen the last couple days where, and it just, I don't know if I brought it up last night or not. I don't think I did, but saying that the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that Adam and Eve ate from, they said that it wasn't something that they physically ate, but that Eve had a sexual affair with the serpent, and then which came Cain. But yet right there in Genesis, it says that Adam knew his wife Eve and she bore him Cain. And these people completely disregard, they just ignore that verse altogether because they want this other thing to fit. They want it to be this. And and I challenged him with the question, well, then what did Adam do when it says that she turned to him and gave to him and he ate? So what was that Adam did? And they don't have an answer for it. And this is the foolishness and this is the folly of those who would portray Yehovah in a way that is to their own, well, it will be to their own destruction, but it's to their own way of trying to create and build something that that is to themselves. And Solomon's talking about this in that chapter of all the stuff that we waste our time building unto ourselves, collecting unto ourselves, only to die and it go to somebody else who didn't even labor for it. So Mishpachah, when we get rid of the idea of building unto ourselves and we apply the idea of building unto Yehovah, then it's not something that when we die will be given to somebody else who didn't labor for it. It will be that we did our part with that piece and somebody else will continue on with that piece because it didn't belong to us in the first place, because it belonged to him. And it's us doing everything to expand the kingdom of heaven, to add to the kingdom of heaven, to do the things that Yehovah has called us to do, and to be everything that Yehovah has called us to be. That's the difference, Mishpachah. So as you go about today, may you ponder on those things. And of course, as always, go and read it for yourself and ask Yah what he wants you to get out of it. But I hope you all have an awesome and blessed Shabbat. And I hope everything that you say and do today on this set apart day brings honor and glory to his Shabbat and to his name. Amen. I love you all, but most of all, Yah loves you. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom.